Hi, I'm icon, legend, and star Trixie Mattel.
And I'm the original American Horror Story, Edward Hansen.
And welcome to #AfterShow. And today, we're going to talk through the opening premiere episode of Season 5 of American Horror Story, Hotel.
So scary.
So scary.
It was so scary.
It was a slow build, but by the end of it, I was there. I was completion. Now, Edward, are you a fan of the show?
I'm 100% a fan. I'm living for it and breathing, not dying though.
This is my first time watching it, so I'm a fresh, virginal canvas that they're painting on, and I enjoyed it. For the first 15 minutes of it, 90 minutes seemed like a lot.
There was a lot of WTF-ness, you know, for the first 15. I think we were both in a little bit of a WTF haze because we were trying to establish. And I think there was a lot of what's going on? What are we looking at?
I love horror, and I love an affectionate nod to existing horror things. But I thought the kids in the hallway, right off the bat, I was like, okay, it's a little heavy-handed.
Yes.
And I don't like anything too heavy-handed.
It was a little right on the nose job, and I just felt it was just giving us okay, children are scary, we all know that.
We start with these two girls who are from, I guess, Swedish land, Icelandia, Europa.
So the land of the Volvo and formerly Saab.
It was full Aryan Nation, and they were checking in, and they didn't want to stay there because it wasn't close to Universal, and I don't blame them. And then Kathy Bates is giving us full human garbage can with her look. And I love any actress who, if they're like, guess what, we're gonna make you look like absolute shit, and they're like, I'm on. Last season she had a beard, right?
She doesn't care.
She was giving me full Wazowski, you forgot to turn in your paperwork.
Just under that little short haircut, lots of murder was happening.
Yeah, and whenever a hotel tells you they're not gonna let you change nights and they're not gonna give you your money back, you know something's gonna crawl to the mattress. Yeah, no Wi-Fi.
No Wi-Fi.
Free local calls. That's like when hotels brag about their sign says color TV. You're like, if that's the thing.
If that's the selling point, clearly someone has passed in this hotel. Okay, first of all, I'm not an expert on cleaning or anything like that, but if you have a sheet and there's lots of blood on it, do you steam it or do you wash and bleach it?
I just felt because why are you steaming it? Why are you standing in the hallway steaming it?
Why are you in the hallway steaming it?
And this is intense, pulse-pounding horror music playing, and she's like, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Right.
And I can kind of sympathize because a couple weeks ago I had Chinese in bed and I made such a big mess that I had to sleep in the other bed.
Oh my goodness.
So, the thing is they're in their room and they smell the smell. And my first reaction would not be to cut that mattress open. But it's a white girl in a horror movie, so you're like, of course
I don't
she does
know what they thought they were gonna where they thought they were gonna find the ghosts of Abba, Ace of Base in there. I mean, literally, what did they think they were gonna find? You don't. First of all, that's why you sleep on top of the sheets.
It's sick.
You don't cut open the bed, okay? Nothing good is gonna come from you cutting open a bed.
I stay in hotels all the time, and I always check for bed bugs. But now I guess I'm checking for bodies living in there because something crawled out of it.
Yeah, if the stench of death is there, I'd suggest you not cut it open.
If I pulled back the sheet though, and it looked like someone haphazardly stitched it with devil yarn, I would not open it.
Yeah, if you see a bed that looks like Frankenstein's forehead and you all of a sudden are like, gee, let me cut this open and see what's inside, clearly nothing good is gonna come from that.
I'm not the one. And I love that they were like, we're gonna give a bad Yelp review. She's gonna go home and be like, there was a body in my mattress, 1 star.
Remember, the Swedish girls died because Kathy Bates was all like, you take Xanax and Klonopin. And I was like, well, kill all of Hollywood, why don't you? Xanax and Klonopin, they're like vitamins. What are you talking about? If you're gonna get murdered for a Xanny and a Kalani, then I don't even want to be alive. Also, we were in Art Deco heaven. I mean, I could have died from just the decoration alone. I was dead. It was not an American Horror Story, it was American Dream.
I did like how every time they showed a room or hotel room, there's a corner in the room that's not lit well enough that there could be something there. I like that. That's totally cool. Well, in Act 2, we have the most handsome man in the world, Wes Bentley, come in.
And the only thing that made me feel safe were Wes Bentley's eyebrows. I felt like I could have taken a nap in them.
Oh my God,
and just
he's so hot.
I could have hidden Wes Bentley's eyebrows and been safe.
What's her name? Kathy Bates sends him to 64, and then the drag queen with no wig was like, really?
Right.
Because the drag queen was like, he's too fine to kill.
But you know who wasn't too fine to kill was that heroin addict, Max Greenfield.
My God. It got really gay. It got full Folsom in 18 minutes. We were screaming.
We were both clenching and screaming and feeling very turned on, but nervous.
When you have a sick mind and you're watching something normal and your mind goes there? This went there for you and took you along for the ride.
Right.
It was horrifying.
We see you, Ryan Murphy.
And I think this is maybe more of a metaphor for drug use. And he does the drugs and Well, first of all, homegirl with the sheets is like, I steam the sheets. When you die, there's shit and piss and blood in it. And he's fine because he's on drugs. And then the pot sticker guy, who looks like a pot sticker.
Oh my God, I know.
Comes out of the corner and whips out his big, uncircumcised metal dick and fucks him uncomfortably.
Uncomfortably. It was so uncomfortably.
I couldn't believe they showed it on TV.
It was like not in the fun way.
It was sick.
And then Desperately Seeking Sarah Paulson shows up because, I mean, Mamacita was giving us the crimped hair, the like Margot Tenenbaum eyes, you know, that leopard coat.
In the former season of American Horror Story, she had 2 heads, but she traded one of the heads for a crimper and she looks excellent.
I mean, giving a slut from the 90s amazingness, and it was just like so there for me, and the way she just like stared at him as he was getting fucked. And like, I was kind of like, oh my God, like clearly she's comfortable with gay sex too. She's probably one of those girls who like loves gay porn.
Then when the monster pulls out, miraculously there's no blood. Now I'm not a doctor. There probably was a little bit of rectal tearing, but it looks all cleaned up and fine. So maybe it was all in his head because of drugs. The character John the detective is back at his office and he's looking over old cases, and there was a corpse that had paint stuck in the body. He's like a murder detective, and his daughter called and he was like, oh, I don't care that anyone died. I need to read Little Women to a little woman.
I love that we go from ruptured rectum to literally a sentimental bedtime story with his daughter.
And then we have Dennis O'Hare playing Elizabeth Taylor, who took some acting inspiration from our very own Alaska Thunderfuck from RuPaul's Drag Race. You know, I kind of like him with no wig because it's very like, I'm fierce, but I'm not putting on a wig for you.
He snatched his own wig.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved it.
And he had that Egyptian cat eye moment. And I was so into when the guy's like, I don't have any money. And he gets really close and says, money isn't everything, and then walks away.
Right.
But I don't know a drag queen that would say that. I like that Elizabeth Taylor is, she's like fierce, but she's not like, they're not giving you full like Lafayette True Blood, like honey, you know. She's like low key fierce.
Speaking of True Blood, you know, Elizabeth Taylor is also Russell Edgington from True Blood, like that OG vampire. I was living for that. I was like, suck some blood. He was like the oldest vampire, remember? And I was like, I just could not shake that.
Cameo by the most amazing light in the world that says, why aren't we having sex right now? So good. And then she's all corseted to hell. And Gaga does this line and puts on this fantasy to go to the graveyard to watch a movie, which, drag queen.
If you're flirting with a woman who's wearing like a crystal corset situation and winking at you, like you need to know that you're going to get murdered. Like if a woman with no eyebrows and a crystal corset's winking at you and like, come here honey, with like a little spike situation, you're gonna die.
I don't answer to this with a claw on it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm old fashioned.
Yeah.
On one hand, Gaga's giving us everything us homosexuals watch for it. She's got the fashion. She's basically playing herself. But at the same time, I'm having a hard time getting invested in this character because I'm watching them have this cameo play herself. Yeah. Who's doing her wigs because they look fucking amazing and her makeup looks great.
Gorgeous Dior, love.
They take this strapping blonde man and this beautiful Asian woman back to their hotel room, and they're having sex, and they're having like this 4-way switch swap romper room fuckery thing. They're fucking them, and they look at each other, and they take out their fingers, and they stab him in the throat, and then the blood is everywhere. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not into blood play, but then when they were kissing each other with the blood on their face, I was like, I mean, it's so heavy-handed, like a, you know, it's bodily fluids being exchanged, but it was kind of hot.
Yeah, it was kind of,
I wish that blonde guy would have died, though. I was gonna marry him on my grandma's porch in the summer.
I know. Well, maybe they can make a pillow out of his face or something. We can send it to you, because that's probably what happened.
Great.
Yeah.
So now I guess we think they're vampires. They at least drink blood or something, right?
I mean, they were thirsty. They were thirsty. There's a drought happening, and they were thirsty for blood. And let me tell you, honey.
We find out that 20 years later, Gaga looked the same, and we find out that this guy died, but present days he's alive. So I'm assuming he's a vampire, right?
Molly, you in danger, girl, because he's a ghost. And it was literally like, I mean, that was the thing too, that we also find out that Sarah Paulson, aka Hypodermic Sally, also a ghost. I'm a slut from the 90s, I respect a slut from the 90s. I literally am like, everything 90s about it was my favorite part.
And I love the makeup. I love that she took a dirty like finger and just like rubbed it in some wet eyeshadow and was like, that's what I do. By the way, they could just call this season American Horror Story pornography. Because that was graphic. I mean, if I was a kid, that is sex on television. That's the kind of shit you stay up late to watch on Showtime. We find out that our lovely detective is married to Chloe Sevigny. And her hair, she's giving me full Charlie Bucket's mom. She looks like a washerwoman.
For me, the scariest part of American Horror Story, like truly the most horrific, horror-esque, scary part, was watching Chloe Sevigny play a normie.
A normie?
Yeah, like a normal person.
A muggle.
Like just a normie. Like I was literally like, girl, you need to be like a polygamist while ruining your husband's credit, while fucking his brother. Like something like that needs to be happening. Like you are not normal, Chloe Sevigny. Don't play normal.
We find out that the two young Swedish girls, we think they're Swedish, the two young blonde girls from the original opening scene are now in these cages with lights, which were so cool.
It was definitely like a modern art installation that you'd see like at MoMA or like some like chic museum in Stockholm or something.
Yeah, and if you're gonna be stuck in a cage, at least you're well lit. So can you stop crying? Kathy Bates comes in with like liver and like all this disgusting stuff to feed them to clean out their systems. So because we assume they're gonna be fed to Lady Gaga.
And I was like, why didn't you just give them like a juice cleanse? You know, like you should have just given them like a juice cleanse because that would have like cleaned them up fine.
It would have been very LA. Hypodermic Sally lets Vendela go and she runs and she's running through the hotel.
Right.
Kathy Bates sees her and right before she gets to the door, Mother Monster does not let her go.
I know. I was like, girl, get on your flojo and get the hell out of there. Like, why? I would have just charged. Like, I would have charged through that bitch and gone right through the door.
Like she was trying to catch a bus, not for her life.
I know.
I'm not satisfied with a finger throat slit. That's not scary to me. I want like a rip. You know what I mean?
It was very anticlimactic.
Although Gaga was really fierce, so she just went, "This can never happen again," and walks out.
Yeah.
And she was in that full Grace Jones fantasy with the shoulders and the... So the dad comes home in the middle of the night and the daughter is like, let's get sushi. And the daughter has like...
Said no 8-year-old on earth, by the way. Like no 8-year-old was ever like, let me get sushi with my dad.
The daughter has like a red carpet half updo. And she's like, I thought you never asked for sushi, father. When I was a kid, you could barely get me to eat a carrot. And this bitch is like, raw fish, I'd love to indulge. Yeah. So then they're at the sushi restaurant and they get a text assuming from the mom saying, this is the address I'm at, like send help basically.
Right.
I don't know, well, I mean.
It was very Chloe, you in danger, girl. She was like, Chloe, call, and they went. And
you
they
went in guns a-blazing too, and you know in a horror thing, when you tell the kid to stay put, that little bitch is gonna get up and go somewhere.
Oh, you had a problem with this. You did not like that.
No!
She was mad. She was mad.
Wes Bentley's character, John, is going through the house with the gun, looking super sexy, because when he has head tipped down, his brow looks really full, and I really like a full brow.
When we got to that house that was beautiful and modern and very austere, and we saw the two dead gay guys hanging from the canopy beds.
Why do you think they were gay?
Because they were canopy beds. They were in.
But they had two beds.
That is weird. That
maybe
is
they've been married
weird.
a while.
Yeah, maybe. like a Ricky and Lucy situation. Yeah, I get it.
Also, it reminded me of this porn I saw once called All Up in Your Guts, which was like this deep, rough sex pornography.
Ouch.
And their guts were all up out.
Oh no.
And of course the little girl sees it. She'll never unsee that. One time my parents had sex in the same hotel room as me, and I still think about it.
Oh my God.
American Horror Story, Trixie in a hotel.
Oh no. Oh my God, are you okay?
No, I'm not okay.
I'm like getting hot thinking about like, and
well,
not in the fun way.
This is how I turned out, so am I okay? That poor little girl, that is the worst thing to see.
Well, yeah, you don't want to see like two dead gay guys. I stand by I think they're gay. Canopy beds, guts hanging out. I mean, it was a little, yeah.
It was
gross.
Naked?
Were they naked?
They were naked.
They were naked
the voice
too.
on the phone told him, I told you I was gonna do it again. And also, I think those guys were gay because that house is big and beautiful, and that told me they had some expendable income, no children, hello.
The neighborhood, the property values were rising, what?
Cut to Santa Monica, 2010. Oh, it's our lovely Wes Bentley as Detective John, 4 years prior, with his son that we have not seen yet.
And Chloe Sevigny pretending to be normal and like playing with her child, like she's not gonna like sell her to, you know, something or whatever, or
you can't be an
give her to the devil.
You can't look like Chloe Sevigny and try to pass yourself off as a normal person.
Exactly. There's something going on there.
There's something unhinged. So we see that the daughter's there, and then we see this son, Holden, who the dad saw in like a weird dream state earlier in the hotel in room 64. And of course we know that something bad's gonna happen. He gets on the thing, and within one rotation, Holden is gone.
Yeah, I mean, that carousel swallowed Holden up, or so we think. Who knows where he went?
And I would never have a kid because I don't hate myself, but this dad starts freaking the fuck out about Holden. Holden's gone, you should have been holding him.
He's gone. Oh shit.
Nice. And you know, Chloe Sevigny, she looks terrible. She's got full washerwoman hair that they let, it looks like she put her own hair up. using one of those grabbers that old people used to grab the microphone or the remote control.
It was like her character from Big Love like had only recently escaped the polygamous compound.
Oh my God, she totally did have her Big Love hairdo on.
Nicolette.
You know her name.
Nicolette Grant, yeah. It's burned into my heart. I know her name. So Cheyenne Jackson walks in with his son, Lachlan, by the way, which is like the most bullshit name ever. Amazing.
Although a coat is thrown over him and his tie is on the outside of his shirt, I was like, are you a mannequin? And he is the new owner of the hotel, which Kathy Bates is not having.
No, she wasn't happy about it, nor was Matt Bomer. He was a bummer. He was like Matt Bummer, because he wasn't happy about it. Like, he was just like, why are you moving to my house?
And then Gaga.
And they're like, you're evicted, bitch.
And then Gaga's like, well, I don't care about him. And then she hears his voice and she pulls her shit together and she turns around, recognizes him from the fashion world and just starts schmoozing.
You know, she was like a climby moment for her. It was a little bit of a social climby moment. That's okay.
I think whatever evil characters are always scary when they can also be charming, and she was pulling that off. She was great.
And then remember when she took Lachlan, you know, I can't talk to strangers, I can walk away with them to my death. That room, that like very sterile room with all the white. And
the kids' room.
The kids with the candy.
I would go to that room. They go into this room, and the best part was Gaga is looking at him, and he goes like, it's just a hallway. And without moving her eyes, she just pushes the door open. It was creepy.
Yeah, it was very...
All the kids were blonde, which is very Flowers in the Attic.
It was very Children of the Chloe / Corn.
And there's candy, there's video games, and she's not only trying to win over the Cheyenne Jackson, now she's winning over the son.
Yeah, Lachlan's in, by the way. He's like, I'm moving in. I'm living in this like weird sterile room with these dead children. I don't care that they're dead. Yeah. There's video games, there's candy, I'm fine.
Well, Gaga just got scarier because we saw how smart she was.
Right.
How she like flipped on the charm and made this happen. And she could have just turned around and ripped their heads off. Flashback to 1994, we see that Sally is in the same exact hair and makeup and costume.
Working a choker for her damn life, by the way. I mean, literally talk about 90s.
And she's got Matt Bomer with her, and they're going to do drugs. And so we figure out that Kathy Bates is actually his mom.
Right.
Plot twist. And then
Terrifying.
What's her name? Miss Elizabeth Taylor is working at the counter looking the same age.
For me, it was like if Sarah Paulson gave me any more Jackie Taylor realness, like with the smudged eyeliner and the drugginess, I was like, where is Kelly Taylor? Your mom is right here, Jackie Taylor. And then we see her plummet to her death. And
yeah, maybe I'm just like a wimp. There's some scary things in this, but nothing will ever get scary to me in movies watching someone inject drugs. That to me is always just so sick to watch.
And watching someone unironically wear a choker.
I did not see the push out the window coming at all.
No, didn't see it.
Kathy Bates pushes Miss Sally out the window and she falls to her death, and then we put it together. I didn't put it together, you put it together. That she's got to be a ghost because she's dressed the same the whole time.
It was very Catwoman, and I'm like, where's her? 8 more lives are coming for sure.
Plus Hotel California's playing, which has always had like a weird, sad, eerie feel to it.
Yeah, definitely. Very excellent choice in song.
And you know what? If you're gonna fall to your death, be wearing animal print with crimped hair.
For sure, and like this eyeliner was already smudged, so it's like clearly like the tears.
She was giving full Trixie Mattel when she was outlining her lips this big.
Right.
And then we're left on a cliffhanger of, now we have some little snippets of backstory, which I think the last 15 minutes of the episode made the whole thing more interesting. Up to the hour mark, I was like, this is going okay, but that last piece of backstory from 1994 made me want to know everything.
Yeah, because what's better than 1994 for number one? And also, now we saw how Hypodermic Sally came to be Hypodermic Sally.
It was a slow start, but by the end of the episode, I'm so ready for episode 2.
I'm 100% ready.
The moment I went Gaga over was when Bomer's laying there dead and the mom walks in, and Gaga's sprawled out with beautiful hair, much like the waves in this one. And Gaga just goes, your boy has a jawline to die for, or whatever, for days or whatever, and she looked amazing. Also, I like, Gaga had one of her gloves with the claw in it. She was wearing all white, and the glove was red. That was cool as hell.
The moment I went Gaga for was definitely the blood orgy. It was so graphic and amazing, and like, I felt like I was really watching them all have sex, even though they were all like probably in like cock socks or...
Now I guess I want all gloves with claws on them.
Right.
Like a pink would be cool, right? Or like a lavender.
Because it's beautiful and you can cut a bitch too, you know?
My hunk of horror, especially in episode 1, is Wes Bentley. Everybody else is more naked and slutty, but Bentley was in those suits with his just brow and his gun. I like that. I
think my hunk of horror was the dead guy who was still inside of his corpse girlfriend. Because
the one with no eyes?
Yeah, I thought he was really sexy in a weird, like, eyeless way.
You just want that anonymous sex. You can turn the lights off and the guy can keep his eyes. I bet that our new hotel owner is gonna start to see some things that makes him nervous and curious and scared.
I predict for the upcoming season that Laughlin is gonna, you know, be like, hey girl, and like kill them all. Like I think Laughlin's gonna like figure it all out. He's gonna know who the ghosts are, and Laughlin's gonna take on Lady Gaga, and it's gonna be like a war between those two, and Laughlin will win.
I was half afraid that they were gonna keep Gaga for like later in the season, and we would just be waiting. I'm glad that they like they pulled out her titties and everything 8 minutes in.
Oh, thank God. I mean, who could wait 8 minutes, you know? Like,
I think Bummer's gonna start seeing his son again in that hotel or something.
Yeah,
he came back there for a reason. He could have stayed anywhere.
Yeah, he's just so pretty for me that I'm like, are you talking? What? Like, stop. You know, like, I'm always like, I'm entranced in Matt Bomer in every way. Like, he's so beautiful.
It's my first episode of any American Horror Story, and I'm already a fan. I can't wait.
It's this season is campy, it's vampy. I'm all over it already. I want to hit it and quit it.
I'm a Gaga fan, but even if she wasn't in this episode, there's still so much content. We all watch because we could see Gaga, but everything else is going on too.
A lot of Art Deco-ness too. It's
I want
gorgeous.
more guys.
I know. Oh, you do. Ooh.
I'm ready.
These pheromones.
I know. I want. I can already tell that Cheyenne Jackson is like 6'3", which is perfect for me.
Trixie's thinking of tricks.
Yeah. Well, when you're in drag, you need tall boyfriends so you can still look petite.
Don't forget to subscribe
to Wild Presents.